Hi, here are the ways South Africa economy generates millions into their economy. Kindly listen and give an opinion. Forestry. South Africa has developed an established, diversified manufacturing base that has shown its resilience and potential to compete in the global economy. The manufacturing sector provides a locus for stimulating the growth of other activities, such as services, and achieving specific outcomes, such as employment creation and economic empowerment. Manufacturing presents an opportunity to significantly accelerate the country's growth and development. This sector contributed 16.2% of the annual GDP in 2008, making it the second largest contributor to the nation's economy. Manufacturing is dominated by industries such as agro-processing, automotive, chemicals, information and communication technology, electronics, metals, textiles, clothing, and footwear. Agro-processing. This industry spans the processing of freshwater aquaculture and mariculture, exotic and indigenous meats, nuts, herbs, and fruit. It also involves the production and export of deciduous fruit, production of wines for the local and export market, confectionery manufacturing and export, and the processing of natural fibers from cotton, hemp, sisal, kenaf and pineapple. World-class infrastructure, counter-seasonality to Europe, vast biodiversity and marine resources, and competitive input costs make the country a major player on the world's markets. Preferential trade agreements, such as the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, for the U.S. market, and a free trade agreement with the European Union confer generous benefits. Automotive industry. This is one of South Africa's most important sectors, with many of the major multinationals using South Africa to source components and assemble vehicles for both the local and international markets. South Africa's automotive industry is a global, turbocharged engine for the manufacture and export of vehicles and components. The sector accounts for about 10% of South Africa's manufacturing exports, making it a crucial cog in the economy. The government has identified the automotive industry as a key growth sector, with the aim of increasing vehicle production to 1.2 million units by 2020, while significantly increasing local content at the same time. The automotive and components industry is perfectly placed for investment opportunities. Vehicle manufacturers such as BMW, Ford, Volkswagen, Daimler Chrysler, and Toyota have production plants in the country, while component manufacturers, Arvin Exhaust, Blockswitch, Corning, Senior Flexonics, have established production bases here. The industry is largely located in two provinces, the Eastern Cape, coastal, and Gauteng, inland. Companies with production plants in South Africa are placed to take advantage of the low production costs, coupled with access to new markets as a result of trade agreements with the European Union and the Southern African Development Community Free Trade Area. Opportunities also lie in the production of materials, automotive steel and components. Chemicals. South Africa's chemicals industry, including fuel and plastics fabrication as well as pharmaceuticals, is the largest of its kind in Africa, and has been identified by the government as a key driver of economic growth. It dominates manufacturing in South Africa, adding more value to the economy than any other sector and accounting for over half the jobs created by manufacturing as a whole. While the industry remains dominated by local companies, a number of multinationals have local distribution points and several have become involved in local manufacture. The South African chemicals sector has two noticeable characteristics. Firstly, while its upstream sector is concentrated and well developed, the downstream sector, although diverse, remains underdeveloped. Secondly, the synthetic coal and natural gas-based liquid fuels and petrochemicals industry is prominent, with South Africa being the world leader in coal-based synthesis and gas-to-liquids technologies. The primary and secondary sectors are dominated by Sasol. These companies have recently diversified and expanded their interests in tertiary products, especially those with export potential. The local industry is biased towards an internationally competitive upstream sector, neglecting a downstream sector that has great potential for development. Reversing this bias will help the industry to increase beneficiation, or value addition, exports and employment. Downstream production is more labor-intensive, and pulls in a larger number of smaller firms. Beneficiation is key to this strategy. South Africa has a natural advantage in mineral feedstock, but most of these are exported in raw form. However, there are substantial opportunities to convert these materials, using local labor and capital, into value-added inorganic chemicals for export. The government and industry are also working together to find ways of exploiting untapped resources, such as large reserves of fluorine. Metals. South Africa's large, well-developed metals industry, with vast natural resources and a supportive infrastructure, represents roughly a third of all South Africa's manufacturing. It comprises basic iron ore and steel, basic non-ferrous metals and metal products. The basic industries involve the manufacture of primary iron and steel products from smelting to semi-finished stages. Primary steel products and semi-finished products include billets, blooms, slabs, forgings, reinforcing bars, railway track material, wire rod, seamless tubes, and plates. The primary steel industry is a significant contributor to the economy and earns considerable amounts of valuable foreign exchange. In 2008, South Africa ranked 21st among the crude steel producing countries in the world, producing in the region of 1% of the world's crude steel. South Africa is also the largest steel producer in Africa. It is responsible for more than half of the total crude steel production of the continent. Total South African crude steel production is around 9 million tons per year. The international and local steel industry has changed dramatically over the past 2 years. Several steel companies have fallen away and protectionism has increased. To survive in these harsh conditions, the South African primary steel industry has taken major steps to become more efficient and competitive. Many local steel works have engaged in restructuring and productivity improvements. South Africa's non-ferrous metal industries comprise aluminium and other metals, including copper, brass, lead, zinc and tin. Aluminium is the largest sector but, as South Africa has no commercially exploitable deposits, feedstock is imported. South Africa is ranked 8th in world production of aluminium. Key players include Billiton, with smelters in Richards Bay, and Hewlett Aluminium. Other non-ferrous metals have a lesser role, but are still important for exports and foreign exchange earnings. Although the country's copper, brass, and bronze industries have declined, it is hoped that new mining and reclamation technologies will allow the exploitation of previously unviable deposits. Kindly subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you.